As the sun rises, the class lines up at the schoolyard to see what the first real training under heroes were like. And it looked like a really big jungle gym.
Welcome, ladies and germs, to your new cat-scratching post. The military calls this the SKU-0R4NG4-TAN, but we call it around here the banana tree.
Why a banana tree, Teach?
As you'll see in a moment with my friend here.
Whirlwind points behind him, and a robotic claw whips a medicine ball at Maverick. Maverick tries to dodge, but takes a spongy hit to the face.
Ow! What did that robot just throw at me?
If you can dodge a bullet, you can dodge a ball. And that's what this tree is here for. You'll peel out, or it'll have you doing the splits. Right, Miss Cambridge?
Yeah, sure.
Look, we'll chat in a sec.
Captain Whirlwind turns back to the kids.
So, for our big lesson today, you're going to skedaddle through the obstacle course there and make it all the way through to the end. If you finish first, there will be cake.
Can it be pie instead?
I'd rather have a talking potato.
All right, smart Alex, we'll have a talk about that next session. But we got a long day ahead, so let's get cracking.
I call dibs on key lime pie.
Captain Whirlwind, we had to come to school at the crack of dawn. I don't know about everyone else, but I didn't get a chance to eat at all. Where's the food?
The most important thing for heroism is to understand that you're never to fight on an empty stomach. So, whenever possible, take a bite as soon as you wake before taking a bite at a crime. Protein bars are in the cooler.
The students lazily shuffle to the cooler for their impromptu breakfast. Meanwhile, Whirlwind and Miss Cambridge take a seat on the opposite end of the benches.
Okay, so what's got you beat, Cammy?
It's just that, well, you heard the news, right?
Yeah, it's crazy how our mayor can't just stop eating those hotcakes. Can't believe he wanted to close down the local Sandy's because their PR said his weight problem was from their food.
No, you idiot. The other one?
Oh, You mean Black Panther? Or do we call her Black Maze now?
Yeah, the moment I saw her on TV, making the town into her lion's den with a heist shortly after busting out of prison. No rest for the wicked, I guess. And then, to top it off, she thinks changing her name will keep her safe. Ugh.
Are you afraid of her going after the kids?
Yes, and not just abducting them. She's too smart to be so direct, especially since we defeated her last time. I mean, why do villains become villains?
I don't know. They become a villain after house arrest due to tax fraud?
Come on, I'm being serious.
I am too. Serfdom is no joke.
Okay, so maybe these kids are smart enough to understand peer pressure. The older kids have heard enough pep talks to not smoke or drive while drunk.
Give them some credit. I waited until 21 for my first kegger.
Well, aren't we Mr. Perfect, Mr. Too Good to Be True? But there's more to being a hero than being a PSA celebrity. The ability to keep calm under pressure is something you only get by experience, not from a playground. We saw that last year, and when seconds count, if a villain gets just a little bit under your skin, that can cause lasting damage to your career. And that's where the downward spiral begins.
Well, if everyone passed that with flying colors, no one would be a superhero and we'd be out of a job. Wouldn't be bad, but people can't handle being starved for attention. They make their own problems before we wrote them off as solved.
Yeah.
These kids already made it through saving to school and entrance exams. We gave them faith. Time to see it through to the end. And the riskiest bets make the best payoffs. Okay, gang, form up at your starting places.
Yo, Teach! Thanks for the breakfast and all, but I was hoping for a bit more advice on how to practice our powers before we begin.
Cohen, it's more important to be fit than reliant on your own powers. Don't need to be slipping and sliding when jumping out of a burning building. Besides, I have just a thing.
Captain Whirlwind bends down to the boombox next to him and hits play.
Okay, Boomer, eat my diamond dust, losers.
Everyone spreads their feet on the starting line and waits for the signal.
Go! Okay, boys, it's game time.
3 hours later. Or maybe three and a half. I kind of just stopped counting and caring. Captain Whirlwind and Miss Cambridge sit perched on the bleachers.
How long did you set up this obstacle course to last?
The course itself was 1 hour. Under ideal conditions and even more ideal superpowers.
What's the X factor then?
I hid the instructors into special chambers to draw out special instruction. Each instructor blocks the exit like a boss, and they only let them through if they do their challenge or find a way past them.
Any difference between the two?
One gets some extra credit. But don't fret. Actually, I can show you what I mean. Take a look at this.
Captain Whirlwind pulls out a tablet with a video cam feed and scrolls to the exit camera feed.
Here's what's going on at the exit. Right there, where you can see Bryce.
Bryce makes it out of the banana tree, dusting his arms off and shrugging his shoulders.
Whew. Thought I was done with cooling that oil spill. If I didn't condense the CO2 from my breath into improv extinguisher, I'd be finished. Now to take the gold.
Help! Anyone! I'm stuck!
Well, it's a competition. These things happen. I deserve the win. Everyone will get motivated to try harder and... I'm going to hear for thinking that.
Bryce opens the hall to Cassie's challenge chamber to help.
Crud. How are we going to judge this then?
No crying over spilt milk. But I think I can make something with the glass on the floor. Let's head on down.
Whirlwind and Miss Cambridge greet Maverick after he sprints through the door.
Ha! Hope you like tasting ash, Bryce, 'cause I burnt your dust.
Glad you made it through, Maverick. Luckily, the rest of the class is standing behind you.
Calvin, Maddie, and Ashlyn make it out of their respective doors. Friday is the last to follow behind them.
Dang, dude, I'm beat. Hey, Calvin, what did they have you do?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Come on, don't be like that. Try me.
Calculus on abacus.
What?
See? I knew it.
No, I mean, that's a lot better than the rainbow maze I was stuck in.
I guess if you like meditating with clacking beats as ASMR. Sure.
Cool. What's ASMR?
Sometimes autosensory meridian response is a tingling sensation that typically begins on the scalp and moves down the back of the neck and upper spine.
No one cares, nerd. Besides, nothing can beat having to do the CrossFit training that I was stuck in. What'd you get stuck with, new girl?
The ghosts showed me the way.
And that is the last time I ask you anything.
Class, I'd like to introduce you to today's winner, Maverick. Here's your medal.
Captain Whirlwind reaches toward a boombox to play a stock cheering effect.
Hold up. Where's Bryce and Cassie? Sorry, Teach. Cassie got her hair stuck in a swing.
Hey, I needed to grow my hair out.
Maybe tell that to the split ends when you grew your hair too fast.
And for these chaps here, here's the cream of the crop.
Captain Whirlwind reaches in his bag and hands Bryce his prize.
A golden banana?
For the king of the jungle, of course.
Wait, I thought I was here first.
He stood where you were, but didn't cross the finish line due to his civic duty as a hero. But he went the extra mile, so we figured he'd like a snack.
That's not true. Is it? Not that I was looking forward to it, but the snack was nice.
Don't think this is over. You ain't making a monkey out of me. I'll beat you for real next time.
Bryce grabs Cassie and slings her over his shoulder as he climbs above the fence wall.
My prize now. You challenge me to combat.
Can anyone get me down from King Kong here? I've been abducted.
Okay, let's wind things down here. How about we get some real lunch now?
Score! I found some banana bread.
Hey, save some for us!
It's time for another super historical fact. There are 3 districts in which our heroes attend to: the Normal District, Evil Ridge, and Superville. We already know that Evil Ridge is where the villains reside. Just north of Evil Ridge is Normal District. It's fashioned like an old 1950s sitcom. All the houses look similar to their next-door neighbor, and the residents that live there are just as boring. In this district, they like to pretend that the superhero world does not exist, and that everything is based on science. Ridiculous, if you ask me. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe. You've been listening to Sidekicks Season 2, featuring the voices of Maxine Sutton, Noah, Eli, and Gideon Krisuodzinski, Maddie L., Ishmael Misa, Kat Carney, Shady Abul Nasser, RJ Haggerty, Laura Coembo, Rob O'Dwyer, Monica Rochelle, Krista Rue, and Andre Martinez. Written and directed by Krista Rue.
Mixed by Gunnar Reddy.
Thanks to our patrons. If you'd like to learn more about the Patreon, be sure to check out the link below.